Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that's changing all around us, often in some really wild and contradictory ways: a relationship with animals. It's like we're all rewriting the rules of this unspoken contract we have with them, and the results are, well, you're about to see.
Especially in our cities, it feels like we see animals through two completely different sets of eyes. On one hand, they can be a nuisance, right? A public safety risk, a problem that needs to be dealt with. But then on the other hand, they're not just pets, they're family. They're cherished, and they deserve the best of everything, even luxury. So the question is, how can both of these things be true at the exact same time?
All right, let's start where this tension is most visible, right out on our city streets. This is where that clash between human safety and animal freedom is playing out every single day.
Our first stop is the city of Changsha in China. Now, authorities there are really cracking down on what they call civilized dog ownership. And after a bunch of public safety incidents, they've decided to get really serious about one simple rule: keep your dog on a leash. And the consequences for not doing it, they're getting a lot more intense.
And get this, we're not just talking about a fine anymore. That's what's so interesting. For people who break the rule again and again, or if an unleashed dog causes a serious incident, the owner could face up to 10 days of administrative detention. I mean, that's basically a short-term jail stay without a formal trial. So this has been elevated from a simple ticket to a real issue of public order. Now, let's jump over to a village in Uttar Pradesh, India, for a totally different kind of conflict. Here, the fear isn't just about a dog bite. It's about a full-blown public health emergency. The threat is rabies, a really deadly virus that shows just how dangerous it can be when diseases cross between stray animals, livestock, and then to us.
The scale of this one incident is just mind-boggling. So, a buffalo was bitten by a rabid dog. Nobody knew. The milk from that buffalo was then used to make sweets, which were shared all through the community. As a precaution, health officials had to rush in and give rabies vaccines to nearly 200 villagers. It just goes to show you how one single animal incident can explode into a major human health crisis.
Okay, now let's go to Karachi, Pakistan, where the mayor is basically fighting a war on two fronts. The city has a huge stray dog population, and that's led to more and more dog bite cases. And this has put him in a really, really tough spot, stuck between two very loud, very opposing groups of people. So on one side, you've got parents who are understandably terrified for their kids. They're demanding the city call the dogs to keep everyone safe. But on the other side, you have these very powerful animal welfare activists who are demanding humane solutions, things like vaccination and sterilization programs. So the mayor is stuck trying to find a middle path, some kind of solution that protects people without just killing thousands of animals. You see the pattern here, right? All of these stories are about reacting. Reacting to fear, reacting to bites, reacting to disease. But it makes you wonder, is there another way? Could a city get ahead of the problem and actually design a system for peaceful coexistence from the start? And that question actually brings us to the turning point in our story. We're heading to New Delhi to see how one city is trying to engineer a solution, to move away from just managing conflict and towards actually planning for coexistence. And the key to their entire plan is this number: 100. The city has set up 100 officially designated feeding points for stray dogs right in the heart of the city. Now, this isn't just random people leaving out food. This is a calculated, thought-out, systemic approach to the problem. So here's how it works, and it's pretty smart. First, they picked zones that were far away from sensitive places like schools and hospitals. Second, by centralizing the feeding spots, it's way easier to manage the dog population. And third, and this is key, these zones become hubs. They're perfect places to monitor the dog's health and carry out sterilization and vaccination programs way more efficiently. It's a really fascinating attempt to bring some order to what feels like a chaotic situation.
Okay, so we've seen conflict, we've seen managed coexistence. But get ready, because our story is about to take a hard right turn. We are about to leap from the struggles of managing animals on the street to the absolute peak of treating them like premium, first-class clients.
What if the whole conversation just shifts? What if our relationship with them goes way beyond just trying to keep them from being a problem? What if the entire goal becomes catering to their every need, their comfort, their happiness, even their anxiety as a high-end premium service? Well, say hello to Bark Air. It is the world's first airline designed literally from the ground up for dogs. No, this isn't an airline that allows you to bring your pet. This is an airline where the humans are basically just the plus one. And just listen to the perks here. Bark Air has exclusive pre-flight lounges, so the dogs can hang out and socialize before takeoff. They have in-flight calming treats, noise-canceling earmuffs. The whole cabin is designed for a dog's comfort. Owners are paying top dollar, not just to transport their pet, but for their pet's emotional and psychological well-being. This is literally the commodification of animal happiness. So, wow, what do we even make of all this? We've seen animals as a threat, as a complex puzzle to be solved, and as a luxury consumer. When you put all these stories together, what do they really tell us about us? I mean, think about the journey we just took. We started on the streets of Changsha with strict control and punishment. Then we went to India, where animals pose this huge public health risk. We saw New Delhi trying to pioneer a new kind of managed coexistence. And we ended up in the skies, where animals have become premium passengers. It's a huge spectrum. And I think here's the real takeaway. These aren't just stories about animals. They're stories about humans. The rules we make for them, whether those rules are driven by fear, by public health, by compassion, or by commerce, they hold up a giant mirror to our own societies and what we truly value. And that leaves us with one final big question to chew on. As we draw all these lines for animals, from a leash on a sidewalk all the way to a first-class seat on a plane, what kind of lines are we also drawing in our own human world? What do our rules for them really reveal about our rules for each other?